Listen to me. Too many people are living asleep while standing on their feet. Too many dreams have been buried alive because the mind is distracted, the heart is broken, and the will is weak. But hear me tonight. God did not create you to stay down, defeated, and unfocused. He breathed his divine power into you so you could rise, see clearly, purpose. The same God who put galaxies in the sky and rivers in the earth put power in you. And I came here to tell somebody, it is time to G2P and focus. You cannot change your life until you change your focus. You cannot walk into your destiny looking backwards. You cannot receive what God has for you if your attention is scattered on everything but him. So tonight, I want you to hear this deep in your spirit. Focus is not just about your eyes. It's about your energy, your faith, your discipline, your determination. When you focus, you align yourself with the power of God, and nothing can stop you. When I say focus gives you direction, I'm not talking about something small. I'm talking about something that can reshape your entire destiny. Without focus is like a ship without a compass. Imagine a sailor in the middle of the ocean, water stretching endlessly on every side, but no compass, no stars, no map to guide him. He may have the strongest ship, the best sails, the bravest crew, but if he doesn't know where he's going, he'll drift endlessly in circles. That's exactly what happens when a person lives without focus. You wake up each day, you move, you work, you talk, but without direction, you never truly arrive anywhere. You're busy, but not effective. You're moving, but not progressing. And the worst feeling is to live years of your life with energy spent only to look back and realize you never really went where you were meant to go. Focus is God's gift of clarity. It's like a divine compass in your spirit that points you to your purpose. But the problem is most people allow distractions to drown out that compass. Distraction is the thief of destiny. Think about it. How many dreams have been delayed because someone couldn't focus? How many people start something with passion only to quit halfway because their eyes wandered to something else? How many students begin school with big goals but lose focus on their studies and spend more time scrolling through their phone than working on their future? Focus doesn't just decide what you do, it decides who you become. Now let me give you an example you can picture. Imagine an archer holding a bow and arrow. He pulls the string back, the arrow is ready, but his eyes are wandering. 1 second he looks at the target, the next second he looks at the crowd, then he looks at the birds flying above, then he looks at the ground below. No matter how strong his bow is, no matter how sharp his arrow is, if his focus is scattered, that arrow will never hit the target. Life is the same way. Your energy, your talents, your time are the arrows. God gave you all the tools, but without focus, you keep missing the mark. Focus isn't about working harder, it's about seeing clearer. There are people who sweat every day, who push, who hustle, but they're not moving in the right direction. And then there are those who choose to lock in, to concentrate, and their results multiply because they're not wasting energy on what doesn't matter. When you focus, you cut out the noise, and suddenly you hear the whisper of God's guidance. When you focus, you stop chasing everything and you start chasing what was meant for you. Look at the sun. The same sunlight that warms your skin every day becomes powerful enough to burn when concentrated through a magnifying glass. That's what your life is like. Scattered energy feels warm, but doesn't produce results. Concentrated focus can ignite fire and create transformation. Some of you have been wondering why you feel stuck, why your life feels like it's moving but not changing. The answer is not in doing more. The answer is in focusing more. Every great invention, every great achievement, every great leader you admire came through focus. The airplane was not created by someone who dabbled a little here and a little there. It was created by people who devoted their eyes, their hands, their minds fully on one dream until it became reality. Focus turns impossible into possible because it channels all your energy into one direction. Now think about your own daily life. You want to grow in your work, but you spend more time worrying about what others think than building your skill. You want to build your health, but you keep focusing on excuses instead of discipline. You want to have peace, but you keep focusing on the noise of negativity around you. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you see more problems. If you focus on possibilities, you see solutions. If you focus on the pain grows. If you focus on purpose, the purpose becomes clear. God placed greatness in you, but greatness doesn't come alive in distraction. It comes alive in focus. Think about a seed. You can plant it in the soil, but if you keep digging it up, moving it around, checking every day if it grew, it will never take root. But if you leave it planted, if you focus on watering it, nurturing it, protecting it from weeds, one day it will break through the ground and grow into a tree. Your dreams are the same. Stop digging them up and doubting them. Focus on watering them consistently and they will grow. So hear me when I say this focus gives you direction. Focus is the reason why some people rise while others remain the same. Focus is the difference between wandering and arriving, between dreaming and living, between potential and fulfillment. If you want to live a life that matters, if you want to walk in the destiny God designed for you, then set your focus. Fix your eyes on where you need to go. Shut down the noise that pulls you sideways. Stop being distracted by things that don't add to your future. And when you focus, you'll find that God has already been waiting for you on the path of purpose. Life has a way of testing every single one of us. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, struggles will visit your life. Some struggles are big, like financial setbacks, broken relationships, or health challenges. Others are small, like daily frustrations, distractions, and disappointments. But here's the truth. Struggles by themselves do not break you. It is how you choose to face them that decides whether they destroy you or build you. And the secret is this. When you focus, your struggles can be turned into your greatest strength. Most people look at their struggles and see them as walls, barriers, or chains. They see the hardship as something meant to crush them. But what if I told you that the same struggle trying to weigh you down could actually be the very tool God uses to lift you up? The difference is focus. When you scatter your mind, when you keep looking at everything going wrong, when you compare your pain to someone else's blessing, your struggle feels heavier than you can bear. But when you focus, when you fix your eyes on the lesson, on the growth, on the purpose within the pain, the weight turns into training. It doesn't break you, it builds you. Think about the gym. Every weightlifter will tell you the truth. Muscles do not grow without resistance. If the weight is light, the body does not change. Growth comes from heavy lifting, from resistance that pushes your strength to a new level. But here's the key. If you're distracted while lifting, if you're sloppy, if your focus is scattered, you injure yourself. However, if you stay locked in, eyes forward, mind present, muscles engaged, the same weight that could hurt you will actually shape you. Life works the same way. Struggles are the weights. And focus is the discipline that turns those weights into strength. Now let me make it real with a story. Imagine a young student who failed an important exam. For many, that failure could mean the end, the belief that they aren't smart enough, that they don't have what it takes. They could lose hope, lose direction, and give up. But another student in the same situation decides to focus differently. Instead of focusing on shame or defeat, they focus on what went wrong, on what they can learn, on how they can prepare better. That focus transforms the failure into a teacher. That struggle becomes the very reason they rise higher in the future. Same exam, same pain, but two different outcomes, all because of focus. Struggles will always come, but they don't all have to end in defeat. A storm can drown you, or it can teach you how to swim. A fire can burn you, or it can refine you like gold. The difference is where you put your focus. If you fix your eyes on the problem grows larger than life. If you focus on the solution, the growth, the opportunity, the problem shrinks into perspective. Every struggle is a classroom, but only the focused mind learns the lesson. When you stay focused in a season of struggle, you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what can I learn? How can I grow? That shift in focus turns bitterness into wisdom, anger into fuel, and weakness into strength. And let me tell you this, some of the strongest people you will ever meet are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who focused through the fire. They are the ones who looked their struggle in the eye and said, you will not destroy me, you will develop me. Look at an eagle. In the middle of a storm, most birds hide, but the eagle does the opposite. It spreads its wings and lets the storm carry it higher. What makes the eagle different is its focus. It doesn't see the storm as a reason to hide. It sees the storm as a ladder to climb. Your life can be the same. Focused vision turns storms into stepping stones. Maybe right now, you are in the middle of your own struggle. Maybe your finances are tight, your heart is heavy, your plans are delayed. You feel pressure, stress, and doubt. But I came to tell you this: if you change your focus, you can change the outcome. Stop focusing on the pain and start focusing on the purpose. Stop focusing on what you lost and start focusing on what you still carry inside. The struggle is real, but so is your strength. When you learn to focus and struggle, you discover that the very thing you thought would end you is the thing that makes you unshakable. You realize that scars are not signs of weakness, they are proof of survival. And survival is strength. Focus takes the sting out of struggle and replaces it with power. So the next time life presses you, don't scatter your mind in fear, worry, and doubt. Narrow your focus. Say to yourself, this is not happening to destroy me, it is happening to shape me. And when you lock in on that truth, you will rise from your struggle not broken, but stronger than you've ever been. There is something extraordinary inside you. Something planted in your spirit before you ever took your first breath. That something is your potential. Potential is the hidden greatness, the quiet power, the seeds of brilliance that God placed inside you. But here's the truth: potential by itself is not enough. You can carry gifts, talents, and abilities all your life and never see them come alive if you never learn how to focus, because it is focus that takes what is small and makes it powerful. Focus is the magnifying glass that turns ordinary sunlight into burning fire. Think about it. The sun shines across the whole earth every single day. It warms, it brightens, it gives life. But that same sunlight cannot set a single piece of paper on fire unless it passes through a magnifying glass. What does the magnifying glass do? It takes scattered light and concentrates it into one point until it becomes powerful enough to ignite. Your life is just like that. Your energy, your creativity, your talents, scattered, they will make you busy but not impactful. Concentrated through focus, they become fire that can light up the world. Many people carry great dreams but fail to realize them because their focus is divided. They start one thing, then jump to another, then chase another, and in the end, they wonder why nothing seems to grow. It's not that they lack talent. It's not that they lack vision. It's that they lack focus. Imagine a gardener who has 20 seeds but keeps planting each one in a different spot, watering one today, forgetting it tomorrow, moving it the next day. None of them will grow strong because the gardener's attention is scattered. But if that same gardener planted just a few seeds, focused on them, watered them daily, protected them from weeds, and gave them consistent care, those seeds would grow into a flourishing garden. Potential is just like those seeds. Everyone has it, but not everyone cultivates it. Focus is the water, the sunlight, the discipline that allows potential to bloom. Without focus, your potential lies dormant. With focus, your potential multiplies. Let me give you a simple but powerful example. Think of a student in school. There are some who are naturally gifted, intelligent, quick learners. But without focus, without paying attention in class, without dedicating themselves to study, their intelligence becomes wasted. Then there are others who may not be the smartest in the room, but they are focused. They block out distractions. They give their full energy to learning. And in the end, they rise higher. Why? Because focus magnifies potential. Talent without focus is wasted energy, but focus without talent can still create excellence. Combine talent with focus, and you become unstoppable. Another picture for you: think about a camera. When the lens is out of focus, the picture is blurry. The colors might be there, the light might be shining, the subject might be present, but the image is unclear. The moment the lens sharpens, everything that was blurry becomes crystal clear. That's what happens when you focus your life. Your gifts, your skills, your dreams are already there, but until you focus, they remain blurry and undefined. Focus sharpens them, gives them shape, and brings them into reality. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were born not from people who were more talented than everyone else, but from people who were more focused. The Wright brothers were not the most educated engineers of their time, but they focused on the dream of flying until it became real. Thomas Edison failed hundreds of times, But his focus on creating light turned his failures into stepping stones for success. Greatness doesn't come from scattered energy, it comes from concentrated focus. Now bring it home to your own daily life. Think about the hours you spend in a day. If you spread them across television gossip, endless scrolling, worrying about others, your potential is wasted. But if you take those same hours and focus them on learning, building, practicing, and creating, your life will transform. You will begin to see abilities in yourself you never thought you had. The truth is, God has given you more potential than you can imagine, but it won't unlock until you decide to focus. Potential is like oil hidden deep underground. It's valuable, it's powerful, but it does nothing if it stays buried. It takes focus, the drill, the persistence, the concentration to bring it to the surface. And once it comes up, it fuels everything. So I challenge you, stop scattering your energy. Stop trying to do everything and start focusing on the thing that truly matters. Maybe you want to build your career, strengthen your health, deepen your craft, or grow your character. Whatever it is, focus on it. Give it consistent attention. Nurture it day after day. And watch as your potential multiplies beyond what you thought was possible. Because in the end, it is not the size of your potential that determines your greatness. It is your ability to focus it. You already carry the seeds of greatness inside you. Now is the time to sharpen your focus, concentrate your energy, and let your potential catch fire. Focus is not something that happens once in a while. It is not a sudden burst of energy you feel for a few minutes and then lose. True focus demands discipline. And discipline is not always exciting, but it is always powerful. Discipline is the bridge between your intentions and your results. You can dream all day, you can plan all night, but without discipline, those dreams will remain locked in your imagination. Discipline is what takes your focus and anchors it into action. Think about it this way. You cannot expect clarity in life if you live in chaos. You cannot expect growth if your habits are scattered. Focus means you are intentional, and intentional living requires discipline. It is waking up every day and deciding to put your attention where it belongs, even when it is not easy, even when distractions are loud, even when temptations are pulling at you. Discipline is the guardrail that protects your focus. Without it, you drift. With it, you stay steady on the path to destiny. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone who wants to get healthy. They focus on the goal. They want strength, energy, a healthier body. That's good. Focus without discipline is just wishful thinking. If they still eat recklessly, skip exercise, and stay up late every night, the goal will never be reached. Discipline means choosing the salad when the burger calls your name. Discipline means going for that walk when the couch feels more inviting. Discipline means going to bed when distractions tempt you to scroll endlessly. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. Without discipline, focus fades. With discipline, focus grows stronger. Think of a musician. You can't master an instrument by picking it up only when you feel inspired. The greatest pianists and guitarists in the world did not get there by talent alone. They got there by discipline. Hours upon hours of practice, day after day, even when it was boring, even when it was tiring, even when progress felt slow. That's what discipline looks like: repetition, consistency, faithfulness. And what happens over time? Discipline and focus turn ordinary practice into extraordinary mastery. Discipline is also about saying no. You cannot say yes to everything and expect to stay focused. You must choose. You must guard your time, your energy, your mind. Focused people are not always the ones who do the most, but the ones who cut away what doesn't matter. They say no to distractions, no to negativity, no to wasted hours, because they are disciplined enough to say yes to their purpose. Look at nature. A river flows wide, but when that same water is channeled and disciplined into a narrow stream, it gains power enough to cut through rock. That's the power of focus combined with discipline. Scattered energy may look impressive, but disciplined energy creates impact. Discipline is the narrow channel that gives your focus unstoppable force. Now let's be real. Discipline is not always easy. There will be mornings when you don't want to get up. Moments when distractions look sweeter than your goals, times when quitting feels easier than continuing. But it's in those exact moments that discipline is tested. Discipline doesn't show up when it's convenient. Discipline shows up when it's uncomfortable. And those who learn to push through discomfort, who stay focused when it's hard, are the ones who rise. Think of athletes. A champion doesn't become great on game day. A champion becomes great in the quiet hours of practice when nobody is cheering, when the stadium is empty, when it's just them, their focus and their discipline. Game day only reveals the results of the discipline already done. Your life works the same way. Public success is built on private discipline. People will see the results, but God sees the work behind the scenes. Maybe in your own life, you've struggled to stay consistent. You start strong, but you lose momentum. You plan, but you don't follow through. The answer is not to beat yourself up. The answer is to practice discipline daily. Start small. Decide what matters most and commit to it every day. Even if it's just 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes of writing, 15 minutes of exercise. Discipline compounds. Small discipline steps every day create massive transformation over time. Discipline also requires patience. You won't see results overnight, but if you stay focused, the harvest will come. Think of a farmer. He plants seeds, waters them, protects them, and waits. He doesn't dig up the soil every day to check if something is growing. He trusts the process. That is discipline, to keep doing the right thing even when results aren't visible yet, because you know the harvest is on the way. So hear me clearly. Focus demands discipline. Without discipline, focus is fragile. Without discipline, distractions win. But with discipline, you become unstoppable. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from chaos, from wasted time, from regret. It frees you to live with intention, to walk in purpose, to build the life God has placed in your heart. So the next time your focus feels weak, ask yourself, am I willing to be disciplined? Am I willing to cut out what doesn't matter? Am I willing to show up daily, even when it's hard? Because if you are, then nothing, no distraction, no delay, no difficulty can stop you from reaching your destiny. There comes a moment in life when you realize that not everything is about your own plan, your own timing, or your own ideas. There is a bigger design, a divine blueprint, a higher plan that guides your steps even when you cannot see it clearly. And the truth is this: when you focus, you begin to align yourself with that plan. Focus is not only about productivity, it is about connection to the direction God has already set for you. So many people are lost, not because they lack talent, but because they lack focus. They are pulled by the noise of the world, distracted by what others are doing, chasing things that look shiny but do not serve their soul. They run from one thing to another, always busy, always moving, but never aligned. And misalignment brings frustration. When your life is not aligned with God's design, you will always feel tired, always feel empty, always feel like something is missing. But when you focus, when you fix your eyes on what truly matters, when you silence the noise and listen deeply, you find yourself walking in rhythm with God's plan. Think about driving a car. If your wheels are out of alignment, the car will always pull to one side. You can still drive, but it feels heavy, uneven, draining. That's how many people live their lives, moving forward, but struggling because their focus is off. Alignment happens when your focus points you back to the path you were designed for. Suddenly the drive becomes smoother, lighter, clearer. That's the power of focus. It aligns your life with the road you were meant to travel. Let's make it real. Imagine a student who dreams of becoming a doctor, not for money, not for status, but because deep inside they feel called to heal people. That's part of their divine plan. But the journey is long, filled with hard exams, sleepless nights, and endless distractions. Friends may invite them out, social media may tempt them, excuses may whisper in their ear. If they lose focus, they drift away from the path. But if they stay focused, if they remind themselves daily of the purpose, if they cut out distractions, if they discipline their time, they eventually walk right into the very plan they were born for. Focus is the tool that keeps them aligned. You see, God's plan is not hidden. It is simply revealed step by step. The problem is that distractions blur the steps. Imagine standing at the edge of a long road covered in fog. If your eyes are everywhere, looking at the trees, at the birds, at the ground, you will lose your way. But if you focus straight ahead, you will see just enough of the path to take the next step. And as you step forward, more of the road becomes visible. That is alignment. Focus allows you to trust the process, even when you cannot see the whole picture. Now think of a camera lens again. When it is out of focus, the subject is blurry, even if it is right in front of you. Many people's lives are like that. Their purpose is close, their opportunities are near, but without focus, everything looks unclear. The moment the lens sharpens, everything comes into alignment. Suddenly, what was blurry becomes clear. That is what happens in your spirit when you focus on God's direction. Let me tell you something important. Alignment is not about chasing everything. It's about choosing what aligns with your soul. Some doors will open in your life, but not every open door is meant for you. Focus is what helps you discern. Without it, you will walk through doors that were never part of your assignment. With it, you recognize the right doors, the ones that align with your purpose, the ones that lead to peace and growth instead of chaos. Look at the way nature works. The planets orbit the sun in perfect alignment. If even one planet lost its alignment, chaos would take over. But because they are focused on their course, the entire universe moves in harmony. Your life is no different. When your focus aligns with God's plan, everything falls into rhythm. Peace replaces confusion. Direction replaces wandering. Purpose replaces emptiness. Maybe right now you feel out of alignment. Maybe you've been chasing things that don't satisfy. Maybe you've been focused on what others think instead of what God is whispering to your heart. This is your reminder. Shift your focus. Redirect your eyes to what matters. Stop scattering your energy on what drains you and start focusing on what feeds your soul. Because when you align with God's plan, you don't have to force things. Doors begin to open, opportunities begin to flow, strength begins to rise, and clarity begins to guide you. So hear me. Focus aligns you with God's plan. Focus is more than concentration. It is cooperation. It is choosing to cooperate with the design that is already written for you. And when you walk in alignment, life feels different. You move with confidence, not confusion. You move with peace, not pressure. You move with certainty, not doubt. Alignment doesn't mean the road will be easy, but it means the road will be right. And when you are on the right road, even the struggles carry meaning. Even the delays serve a purpose. Even the storms push you forward. So today, make a decision, fix your focus. Align yourself with what God has placed in your heart. And when you do, you will discover that your destiny is not something you have to chase. It is something you walk into step by step, day by day, with focus as your guide.